Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We are all welcome to today's episode, which will be the last episode with this particular series, in which we are reading our three selected topics. Today will be our last topic, where we read Al-Wataniya, nationalism or patriotism. We've read Al-Hurriya, we've read Al-Ummatu wal-Hukumatu, and then today we are completing with Al-Wataniyatu. We will be very fast with this as it's a lengthy topic. As I said, it's not an academic reading. We are just reading to pick the ideologies. He says, Al-Wataniyatu, that is Al-Intima ila al-Watan, yani Hubb al-Watan, the love for the nation. That is patriotism or nationalism. Says, ما عجبت لأحد قط عجبي ممن يدعي الوطنية ويزعم أنه يفدي الوطن بدمه وماله ثم تراه شديدا في تخريب صياصيه بما يأتيه من دروب النكاية فيه. He says that he has never been as shocked or amazed as he is amazed of somebody that claims wataniya, claims patriotism. But then you find this person as the foremost in destroying the citadel or destroying the fortress of this particular watan. Sayasihi bimana, the fortress, anything that protects the watan, you find this person at the forefront of destroying it. This person that claims that annahu yafdil watana bidamihi wa malihi, claims that he can sacrifice himself for the nation, you find this person at the forefront of destroying the watan. How? This person will do certain things that makes the strength of the watan weakens. He weakens the strength of the watan in ways that he knows and ways that he doesn't know. And then he says, ليس كل من ينادي الوطنية وطنيا حتى تراه ليس كل من ينادي بالوطنية وطنيا حتى تراه عاملا للوطن بما يحييه باذلا ما عز وهان في سبيل ترقيه. It's not everybody that we refer to with wataniya that is wataniyan. It is not everybody that you hear, oh, this person is a nationalist. It doesn't end there until you see such a person striving in ways that makes the nation live, in things that will make the nation survive for long. So it's not just about just anybody, just give the person the name and that's all. It doesn't end there. And then what does he say? He says, يسعى مع الساعين في إعلاء شأنه وينصب مع الناصبين في حفظ كيانه. This person should be seen as striving with all those who strive in raising the image of the watan. He shouldn't just be somebody that is referred to as wataniyan. The person should be seen striving in ways that makes the nation rise to take up its rightful position. It says, أما من يسعى فيما يفت في عضده ويقصر في ساعده فقد بعد ما بينه وبين الوطنية بينه وبين الوطنية ولو رفع عقيرته وملأ الأقطار صراخا ونادى في الأمة أني من الوطنيين المخلصين. He says that as for the one that strives in breaking the resolve of the nation, in breaking the strength of the nation, breaking the forearm of the nation, basically that is an expression to mean to break the strength of the nation. As for such a person, what lies between that person and wataniya is very wide. The person is nowhere close to patriotism or nationalism. And then he says, even if that person raises his voice, even if he raises his voice and fills the whole places, and shouting, wanada fil ummati, and shout among the nation that I am among the sincere nationalists or sincere patriot or sincere patriotic citizens. Even if he does that, and you find him doing things that breaks the resolve of the watan, such a person is not said to be watani. Says al-wataniyatul haqqu. He is going to define what nationalism or patriotism is for us. Al-wataniyatul haqqu hiya hubbu islahil watan. It is first of all the love for correcting or putting the nation upright. وَالسَّعْيُ فِي خِدْمَتِهِ, and striving in serving the watan. That's وَالْوَطَنِيُّ. After defining wataniya, he now comes to define wataniyu, the person that is said to be patriotic or nationalistic. Says كل الوطني من يموت ليحيا وطنه والوطني كل الوطني. And a person that is fully patriotic is the one that dies for the nation to live. ويمرض لتصح أمته. And the person can forsake so that the ummah will be healthy. And he can sacrifice himself for the ummah. And then he says, ألا إن للوطن على أبنائه حقوقا فكما لا يكون الابن ابنا حقيقيا حتى يقوم بواجبه الأبوة فكذلك ابن الوطن لا يكون ابنا بارا حتى ينهض بأعباء خدمته ويدفع عن حماه المؤذين ويذود عن حياضه المدلسين. He says that just as a father has right over the children, and a child or a son will not be said to be a true son until that right that the father has over him, he has duly served it. That is the same way a son of the nation will not be said to be a true son of the land until he strives and he serves goodly so that the nation will rise up. He takes up the a'ba'i khidmati, the burden of the servitude of the nation. Such a person should take it up and serve, and must also protect the nation from all dangerous people. أي ويدفع عن حماه المؤذين ويذود عن هياده المدلسين. يدفع عن ويذود عن, they are synonyms. يعني defend from, protect from. So you must protect the nation from every bad person that comes in to spoil it. Now compare it to our situation. A foreigner will come into the country, sees a citizen, gives the citizen money, and the citizen aids the foreigner in spoiling our lands, spoiling our forest reserves, spoiling every little thing that we have in this country. That is not wataniya. That is not being a citizen, a true citizen, a patriot citizen. ومن هذه الحقوق, part of the right that the nation has over its inhabitants, تكثير سواد المتعلمين, making the groups of those who learn many. Yani we must increase in education. المتخلقين بصحيح الأخلاق, not just education, but people who are learning and are picking up good morals. المغروس في قلوبهم تلك الحكمة المشهورة حب الوطن من الإيمان. Those who have buried deep in their hearts that wise saying or parable that says the love of the nation is part of faith. It is part of it's an item of faith for you to love your nation. Then he says وذلك لا يكون إلا ببذل المال في سبيل المصالح العامة وإفراغ الوسع في تشييد المدارس. That cannot happen, the love of the nation and making people who have chance to education many, that cannot happen except through putting in your wealth, spending your wealth towards the general good, and also exerting all your effort towards building schools. Yani the nation must strive towards building schools, must spend towards all these things. التي تنفث في روع النابتة روح الوطنية. These schools that they are going to build must be such that it breathes into the upcoming ones, and nabita, the spirit of nationalism or patriotism. وتنبت في نفوسهم غراس الفضيلة والعمل الصالح, and it must grow in them the plants of virtues and also good deeds. Then it must be something that grows in their soul. وتحيب بهم لينهضوا متى بلغوا مبلغ الرجولية إلى خدمة هذا الوطن التعس. And these schools must be such that it trains them to rise up with the nation. When they get to the level of manhood, they become men, they must rise up with the nation and serve this nation that is miserable. He describes the nations as miserable. He says, الذي, why is it miserable? الذي ضره أبناؤه أكثر مما ضر به أعداؤه. This nation that its children itself has harmed it more than its enemies have harmed it. That is why it is miserable. And then he says وعن هؤلاء النابتين تصدر مقومات الحياة لهذه الأمة التي كادت بسبب خمولها وجمودها تكتب في أسفار الأمم المندرسة. He says that this النابتة, this upcoming one, when you say somebody is nabita, bimana the person is fresh, upcoming, just like nabatal plant. The way plants grow, we say nabata. The same way we say somebody is annabita, annabit, the person is upcoming, it's a youth, annash, yani. And so he says, from this youth that we get the essentials of life. It is from them that the nation gets its essentials of life. That is why we say the life of every nation depends on its youth. And he says this nation that is almost due to its dormancy and due to its staticness, it doesn't move, it doesn't develop. Due to this nation's dormancy and staticness, it was almost written among the books of nations that are wiped away, nations that are gone and forgotten. But it is from this nation that is almost about being written in the books of the dead nations. It is from these young ones that this nation will get a life. Then he says, متى نشأ هؤلاء التلاميذ متى نشأ هؤلاء التلاميذ الذين يربون تلك التربية الصحيحة ودخلوا معترك الحياة الاجتماعية كان منهم ما لا عين رأت ولا أذن سمعت ولا خطر على قلب بشر. He says, when these students that we've created these schools for, these students that we've given يربون تلك التربية الصحيحة, given this good nurturing, when they grow and enter the field of social life, they now enter into the community. What happens? What do we get? He says that we see from them كان منهم ما لا عين رأت. You see wonders from them that your eye has never seen before, neither has even any ear heard it before, neither has it even occurred to any heart before. And this youth, if you give them the right resources to grow, the good environment to grow in, they will come out with amazing stuff. We need to focus on these things. Make sure that the youth get this kind of upbringing. It says, التربية الحق روح الحياة. True nurturing is the soul of life. And then he says, العلم دم الوطن, and knowledge is the bloodline of the nation. ولا يمكننا الحياة السعيدة إلا بهما. ولا تمكننا الحياة السعيدة إلا بهما. And then we cannot have a happy life except with these two. التربية الحق and then العلم الصحيح. We need these two. And then he says, فالتربية تدفع إلى السعي والعمل. Good nurturing, it pushes one to work hard, strive. والعلم يرشد إلى طريق السعادة, and knowledge guides to the path of happiness. Knowledge guides you where you direct your effort so that it will bring happiness to everybody. He says, نحن في حاجة إلى المصانع الوطنية والتجارة الوطنية لتنال البلاد الاستقلال الاقتصادي. This is the point that we need so much. It says we are in need of national factories, we are in need of national trade, so that the country can gain economic independence. وتتخلص من نير الحاجة إلى الأجانب, and be free from being in need of foreigners. فمن سعى نحو استقلال الوطن وتخليصه من مد يده إلى غيره, anybody that strive towards the freedom of the nation and freeing it from being in need of others, كان الرجل الوطني الذي تنحني أمامه الرؤوس إجلالا. Such a person is the one that we say, this is a nationalistic person, this is a patriotic person. And it is before these people that people bow their heads, they kowtow to them due to respect. Now, you see something like the African Free Trade Area. Why did it come up? It was in conversation in the 1960s thereabout that Africa wanted to trade among itself so that Africa will be independent and all that. Since those years, it has never happened, and now it is materializing where the secretariat is in Ghana. Has it fully materialized? No. We are still waiting for it to fully materialize so that the full benefit will come. But when it happens like that, and you have your own intra-trade, you have your own resources and all that, you are free from being a slave. It says, إِنَّ لِكُلِّ نَتِيجَةٍ مُقَدِّمَاتٍ. Such things, memorize them. إِنَّ لِكُلِّ نَتِيجَةٍ مُقَدِّمَاتٍ. For every resource, there were beginnings. So when you see every end, look at the means. Jamil says, وَمُقَدِّمَاتُ الْإِسْتِقْلَالِ تَرْبِيَةُ النَّاشِئِينَ وَتَعْلِيمُهُم. The beginnings and the means of freedom is you nurturing the upcoming ones and educating them. For what? لِيَكُونُوا يَدَ الْوَطَنِ الْآمِلَةِ. So that they will be the hand of the nation that works for the nation. وَرُوحَهُ الْمُقَوِّمَةِ. And the soul with which the nation stays alive. وَدَمَهُ الْجَارِيَ فِي عُرُوقِهِ. And the blood of the nation that runs through its veins. فَعَلِّمُوا الْأَوْلَادَ تَسْعَدِ الْبِلَادَ. Educate the children, the nation will be happy. And then he says, حُبُّ الْوَطَنِ مَلَكَةٌ مِنْ مَلَكَاتِ النَّفْسِ. The love of the nation is an attribute, is a feature among the features of the soul. It comes with the soul. لا ينكرها إلا الأفاكون. Afak is a liar. Says nobody rejects that except Afakun. When you are born here, automatically the love of this place must come with you. You must love this place. But no one rejects that except the liars. The liars, they can claim, I don't love the nation. You love the nation, that's where you are. It says, Awil Wahimuna, or those who are just in their imagination. And they are just conjecture. They are in some conjecture. They are not in reality. He says, وَإِنَّمَا يَصْدِفُ النَّفْسَ عَنْ هَذَا الْحُبِّ فَسَادٌ فِي التَّرْبِيَةِ. What pushes the nafs from this natural love? It is corruption in nurturing. When you give birth to a child, the child automatically comes with the love of this place. Now, when you don't train the child well, you don't make the child know that this is where you are from, this is where you should love, then the child will come up with hatred of the nation. The child will come up with the love corrupted. أو خلل في الدماغ, or some fault in the mental. The brain is having issues. Such a person born here, you find it not loving the nation still. It says, أو إرق كان أجنبيا, or the person has some traits, or the person has some genes that are foreign. But because the person is born here, but his forefathers, his father is foreign. So you find something linking him to some other country. It says, فهو يدفع الدخيل إلى معاداة وطن فيه ولد. This particular thing, having some genes of some foreign land, it makes the foreigner, who is the ad-dakhil, it makes the foreigner, or ad-dakhil as well could mean the inner self, it makes the foreigner, it pushes the person to hating the country in which he was born. Jamil. وَفِي أَرْضِهِ نَشَأَ, and in وَفِي أَرْضِهِ نَشَأَ, in the land of this country he grew up. وَبِلِبَانِهِ تَغَذَّى, and with the nursing milk of this country he fed himself and grew. وَيَجْعَلُهُ يَحِنُّ إِلَى أَرْضٍ لَمْ يَعْرِفْهَا, and these genes that are in him that are foreign, these genes, they cause him to have nostalgic feelings towards a land that he doesn't even know. سوى أنها كانت منشأ أبيه أو آبائه من قبل, except that this land was the origin of his father or his forefathers before. ويشوقه إلى قوم يعرف عنهم ولا يفهم لغتهم, and these genes, foreign genes, it makes him miss some people that he only knows about. He doesn't know them, but he knows about them, and he doesn't even know their language. Then he says, وَلَا تَجْمَعُهُ بِهِمْ جَامِعَةٌ, and nothing really puts him together with the people. Yani, they are not in the same place. He doesn't know their language. He only knows about them, but you find him having longingness towards them. سِوَى أَنَّهُ كَانَ مِنْهُمْ, the only thing that links him with them is that he is from them. Says, وَيَا لَيْتَ مَنْ كَانَ مِثْلَهُ يَكْتَفِي بِذَلِكَ الْحَنِينِ فَلَا يَسْعَى لِانْتِقَاصِ وَطَنٍ آوَاهُ وَنَصَرَهُ. Says how he wishes that somebody that is like this has a foreign genes, how he wishes that the person stayed with his longingness and doesn't strive towards destroying a country that gave him refuge. بعد أن لفظت آباءه بلادهم لفظ النواتي ولا يعمل لإحبات كل مسعى يسعى لإنهاضه. Says the person shouldn't strive towards bringing a country that took his fathers in when the fathers were taken out from their own countries. You shouldn't put in any effort to bring this country down because your genes link up. After giving us all this, if even It is the foreign genes in you that is making you not feel wataniya to this country that you were born in, and you feel you relate to some other country because this country you were born in and it took in your forefathers. At least if you wouldn't help the country grow, don't uh, break down the efforts that are being made to make this country grow. And then he says, فإليك أيها الناشئ الكريم, or you noble upcoming one, to you تبسط يد الرجاء, it is you that we extend the hands of hope. We are hoping in you. It is in you we put our hope. فانهض رعاك الله للعلم, rise up for knowledge. وتخلق بأخلاق أسلافك, and take up the morals of your forefathers who really loved their country. فإن الوطن يناديك إني لك من المنتظرين. He says the country is calling up to you, that it is waiting for you, or the country is calling up to you, that it is waiting for you to come and help it and aid it. So as is usual of the author, whenever he gets to the end, he advises us. He says, وَحْذَرْ أُولَٰئِكَ الدَّسَاسِينَ, وَحْذَرْ أُولَٰئِكَ الدَّسَاسِينَ, be careful of those criminals, those scammers, those corrupt guys. وَتَيَقَّزْ لِهِبَائِلِهِمْ, and be aware, be conscious of their schemes. Have to be aware. وَتَنَبَّهْ لِشُرُورِهِمْ, and تنبه بمعنى تيقظ, يعني be watchful of their evils. فهم داء وطنك العضال والسم القتال. These people, they are the deadly diseases of your country, and they are the deadly poison that affects the country. وما نهك الوطن من قبل وما يعمل على إضعافه من بعد إلا هؤلاء المجرمون. Says nothing has broken the resolve of the watan before, and nothing continues to strive to weaken the watan even now and after, except these criminals. They come in from even in the within, some from outside, as if they love the country, as if they want you to do something with them. Before you realize, they've taken with your aid, they've broken down the whole country. And then he says, فَإِنَّهُمْ أَعْدَى الْأَعْدَاءِ وَأَدْوَى الْأَدْوَاءِ. They are the worst of enemies, and they are the most deadly of all diseases, or all enemies. فَكُنْ عَلَيْهِمُ الْخَطَبَ النَّازِلِ, be like a calamity that befalls on them. وَالدَّاءَ الْقَاتِلِ, and be a killer disease upon these criminals. وَالْمَوْتَ الزُّؤَامِ, and a very bad and sharp death upon them. وَالْعَيْنَ الَّتِي لَا تَنَامُ, most importantly, be the eye that does not sleep against these people. And whatever they are doing, be watchful, never relax. It says, وَإِيَّاكَ أَنْ يَطِيبَ لَكَ الْمُقَامُ قَبْلَ أَنْ تَرِيشَ السِّهَامُ. Woe betides you if you should feel too comfortable before pluming your arrows. You know, when you do the arrow, you put some feathers on the side so that it can fly when you shoot it very well. It says never feel comfortable until you've plumed your arrow such that you are ready to shoot. It says وَتَقِفُ بِالْمِرْصَادِ, and stand at the watching point. لِأَهْلِ الْفَسَادِ, and be watching the corrupt guys. You have to get your arrows ready. You have to get your weapons set up for them. Be watching them whenever they are coming to attack. It says فَحَقِّقِ الْآمَالَ يَحْيَ بِكَ الْوَطَنِ. Says actualize these hopes, and the country or the nation will live with you. Alhamdulillah, we come to the end of this series with the nationalism, patriotism, and I want us to put this whole series together: the al-hurriya, al-ummat wal-hukuma, and then last finally, as we've done, al-wataniya. As I said, this is not an academic reading. There are lessons that we do with people here and there where we read it academically, but this is just for us to get the ideas and at least to know the book and know what is in there. Inshallah, in the right time, we would have time for special lessons for this material. May Allah aid us, and may Allah grant us beneficial understanding. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما يا رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.